Hello, listeners. Today, I have the pleasure of speaking with Matt McLean, who is a pioneer, agricultural activist, and entrepreneur in the organic farming and food movements. Matt's citrus roots date back 4 generations to his great grandfather, who farmed without the use of harmful pesticides or synthetic fertilizers. Now, Matt founded Uncle Matt's Organic in 1999 with 3 acres in his dad's backyard. And Uncle Matt's is now the largest organic orange juice brand, the #1 selling OJ and grapefruit juice in the United States, with a full line of organic beverages sold nationwide in over 20,000 stores. In this episode, we dive into how he cultivated his success, the ups and downs, and everything in between. And overall, it was an inspiring and wisdom-filled conversation. And so I hope you enjoy it as much as I did. Welcome to the Live for Yourself Revolution, where our mission is to highlight stories of intrapreneurs and entrepreneurs who are truly living for themselves. I'm your host, Dr. Benjamin Ritter, leadership and career coach focused on guiding you toward a career and life you can love. Thank you all for listening, and I hope you enjoy the show. Okay, so I'm at a networking event, and I hear Uncle Matt's Organic, and I go, well, what makes Matt organic? And I didn't know I could get labeled as organic as a person.
Yeah.
No.
So we are
what would
America's.
you build on that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're 25 years old. Uncle Matt's Organic is America's #1 selling organic OJ brand, sold nationwide, and we're also we were organic before the USDA actually had an organic seal. We were certified by our local Florida organic growers. So we now are legally defined. When you say organic, it's a legal definition. So it's, you can go online and look exactly what that means depending on your category, what you can and can't use to be certified organic. So it's a different definition now than before. And a lot of people misuse the word organic. When you're talking about the industry, it specifically means the seal and what you can and can't use. But then, things just come to you organically. So they just naturally percolate into your conversation.
Yeah. So how does one get started, becoming the #1 selling orange juice in the United States, right?
So it took a while, from 25 years for that overnight success, right? Of 25 years of climbing the mountain. I grew up in the citrus business. I'm a 4th-generation Florida citrus grower. So it was already in my blood, although my family, my grandfather and father, they were not ever owners of a brand. They were growers. And then they had the devastating freezes of Christmas Eve, 1983, 85, and 89. And they went from becoming growers of 600 acres to literally consultants because everything died. And they couldn't replant. The banks wouldn't reloan them money. So, for them, they helped a lot of people grow citrus. And when I went to college, I actually wanted to get out of agriculture. I'd grown up in the citrus business, doing a lot of hard work for my dad in a lot of the groves that he consulted on. But I learned great valuable lessons of perseverance and hard work and how to lead at a young age, a small crew of men that went out into the groves with me. But I got a degree in business to get on the other side of the tractor. And then when I got out, I was not interested in coming back to agriculture. I thought it would be, technology, software, sales, other stuff. But I had the introduction through my father to one of his German customers, one of his clients who was a grower in Florida, and he was interested in selling Florida orange juice to his friends back in Germany. And so he needed somebody to help him find juice and buy it in Florida and then ship it to Holland, and then he would sell it down to his different bottling friends in Germany. And so that's what I did. I started an import-export business. I went around to the 35 different juice plants at the time in Florida, and I helped buy good quality orange juice and grapefruit juice to send over to Europe and then eventually the Middle East. And that's where I cut my teeth before Uncle Matt's on really what makes a great tasting juice, the right bricks, the right acid, the right ratio, all of those things, and developed some business skills along the way, just with entrepreneurship, how to be a self-motivator, self-starter, also how to sell, how to lead, and then a lot of adversity. The guy wound up going bankrupt and leaving me with a whole lot of problems. And so then I had to go around to those same people that I had bought product from and say, listen, I need you to work with me. I'm eventually going to pay you back and we'll eventually sell off the product, but I've got some problems right now. My main sales guy in Europe has disappeared and he's completely left me high and dry. So a lot of business lessons learned. But at the end of that journey was the German gentleman who asked me about organic. And I didn't know anything about organic in 96, 97. I came back to the US. He wanted me to find some organic white grapefruit juice for him. So I came back to the US and I found it. But at the same time, I found a whole nother business and career for me because there was no Tropicana or there was no Simply that was organic. And I felt that, hey, if this is a trend over in Europe, it's coming to the US. So that's a very long answer for you. I'll pause if you want to get something else in.
Oh, interesting. So you went to school, you're like, I'm out of this world. I'm gonna go into business. Kind of had an introduction, started this import-export business, and then that went belly up, had a lot of learnings, but then had another conversation in the process. Now you had all these relationships in the industry around organic and saw the opportunity.
Yep.
And I always wonder, like, what is it that makes a conversation or a question or an idea turn into a business and not just something that was a conversation or idea? So what was going on in your life where that seemed like a viable opportunity for you to take the reins and to build something?
Yeah, so that's really good question. I was still young. I was single. I didn't have a lot of things holding me back at that time. So my risk level was low. I had the import export business, but while the German guy went belly up, I still had some other clients. And so I was able to make money selling to the Middle East and some other places as with the juice brokerage business. And I paid back the debts. But it took me a couple years to realize the opportunity that was in front of me. Hey, there is no Tropicana, no Simply, but I knew nothing about the CPG world and how to take, a product, make it into a brand, get it packaged and then sell it. And then in this case, it was refrigerated and perishable, so it had a short shelf life. I had to, get it out of the warehouse within a couple weeks, or else customers wouldn't take it. So it took me a while to kind of get up the really surveying the market, understanding how would I do this. I was very excited about it. Number one, because I thought, hey, this is a real opportunity, and every opportunity somebody will take advantage of it and succeed. And can I take advantage of that opportunity? I knew that if it was happening in Europe, it would happen in the U.S. I didn't know at what speed, and to realize there wasn't that competitor already. There was that opportunity. And so how fast could I get to scale? It took me a couple of years to figure that out, a name, a product, all of those things. And in that interim time, competitors showed up. They also realized it was a good idea. So I had two big guys, Horizon Organic Dairy, one of the largest and first organic dairies. They had instant distribution alongside their milk. They had scale, they had customers, all of those things. So they were very, very tough competitor in the beginning. And then Pavich was a produce company that sold organic grapes. They also got into the organic orange juice business. So they were very good on the produce side. So those were two competitors. Looking back, if I knew better, I would have told somebody if they asked me, hey, should I get into this as a third organic refrigerated orange juice brand? I would have told them no. I said, no, you're me too. Don't do that unless you really feel it's your passion. You really think you're going to have a competitive advantage at some point. Like, where are you going to outcompete those two that have a lot of scale and business savvy and customers already with a brand that has recognition? But I was young and dumb. And I had, 4 generations of citrus expertise, and growing is tough. Growing organic citrus is tough. And so I went to my father and grandfather and asked them about, can we grow organic citrus in Florida? And my grandfather chuckled and was like, hey, I was alive before pesticides were invented in after World War II. Yes, we grew it and we grew it well. And a lot of those methods we should go back to. And he was having that at the end of his life. He was having that same, desire and passion, feeling that, hey, we need to go back to farming basically organic, because what we were doing was going to lead to our demise. Too many pesticides, too much single factor analysis, not thinking holistic about a healthy soil and healthy tree and turning on its own immune system naturally. So that gave me the confidence that, hey, I think we can grow it. And I think we're going to grow it better than anybody else. And I think supply is going to be really tough. And if we can build our own supply base, we will have a competitive advantage. And that's what happened. We did 1 acre at a time. And, at our peak, we had 1,500 acres that was all organic in Florida that we farmed ourselves with over 35 different growers. And we were the largest organic fresh food shipper on the East Coast. And we were a very up and coming brand of organic OJ. So, I had that long term vision, and I had a base of growing in the supply side that became my competitive advantage. But it was a long road to get there.
Wow. And I mean, you're there. You've been there. And
Yeah.
what an incredible feat. So I know for myself as a founder that you can be very intentional. But if you are good with people, relationships, build rapport, you're a go-getter, you are curious, other things pop up along the way that are like, hey, look, sparkly object, like look at this thing over here. Maybe I should go invest in it. You mentioned that maybe business was, you kind of are in business, but maybe you were looking to get out of the industry and now you're fully immersed in the industry.
Yeah.
Was there anything else along the way that popped up and said, hey, Matt, try this out?
When we finally had a brand and on the shelf, right? And I mean, that breakthrough aha moment for our family, we've been farmers for all of, the 4 generations and never actually reached through to a customer. We always just sold to a juice plant or to a packing house, and they had that relationship. So when we finally broke through, and now you have that direct conversation with a customer, it's really awesome. And my granddad was so excited at the end of his life that, hey, we can actually tell our story, and we can put a product in that people are excited about. And as a young entrepreneur, it was real easy then to have too much confidence. Like, hey, my brand could be on anything. My gosh, I could do anything. From, if Horizon Organic wants to come after me, I'll do organic milk and go after them, And so you can easily chase some other shiny balls with a little bit of success that you have. And so that would be one thing, is to really focus in the beginning, like most people will tell you. But if you do have some success, you quickly start thinking, man, is there a whole lot of other things I can do? I encourage everybody that asks for advice, stay in your lane in the beginning. Where is your competitive advantage? Where is your product unique? Where do you think you have your best chance in relationship with the customer? And stay in that lane as long as you can. Now, obviously, if you're not making money and you have the greatest product ever, but you can't make money in it, then that's not a good business. It has to be a true business where you have sales growth and you're all, able to be profitable, or at least break even, so you can sustain and maintain your growth. So, those are key things. In the beginning, I had some distractions. I had distractions on other products I thought I could put Uncle Matt's name on. And it was just, shiny ball syndrome. So stay, they tell you the inch wide, mile deep, do that first. And if you think that there is really some other things near your category or within your category that you can expand into, or what you thought was your great idea is not a profitable path, then you pivot.
What were some of the things that you believe? It sounds like maybe this is one of them in the past that you've kind of learned that maybe weren't true. Like the idea of let's attack all our competitors. Okay, maybe actually just do the thing we're doing and do it well. Was anything else stand out to you?
Uh, also just tactics of how you get your product out to market. a lot's changed in 25 years. What's beautiful today is you have all kinds of social media channels that can get your name out there quicker to customers, get your product out there quicker to customers for just brand awareness, right? So if you have something, you potentially can go viral on TikTok because, wow, it is the next great fill in the blank, product that solves this demand that people have been longing for. So you don't necessarily have to go in and take the long 25-year road of, okay, let me just, chip away. If you have a good social media presence already, you're a good social media influencer, those things can help if you also have a good brand of whatever product. In particular, in my instance, it's the food industry, right? So those things do help, or you can align yourself with somebody that already has a pretty good social presence and be an influencer. You can get on the shelf quicker. You can get a product sold on Amazon. You don't even have to go into the long road like I did through the Publix and Kroger and Whole Foods, your traditional retailers. You can create businesses online overnight and do very well on with just Shopify and Amazon for a long time, depending on the product.
It's so incredible to see how you had this environment that you were in as a kid. You grew up in it, you became an expert in it, and now you've built this incredible business in it. I often work with individuals that are wondering kind of what to do in their career. And it's like, oh,
Mm.
the answers are there. Like the answers are kind of like right around you if you want to pay attention to them, despite maybe thinking that you need to do something else. But now, like you're here, you've built a team, you're leading a team, you're leading a company. Um, what are some of the like everyday, struggles of just the day now that you're in?
Yeah, so we took a big change and a big leap of faith. So, you know, um, COVID, COVID happened. Your listeners probably don't know the story. We grew the company until 2017. So we founded in 1999. 2017, we sold it. We decided, hey, good time to get out. We had a private equity partner, a minority partner, and we were looking to replace them. And then we just decided, hey, we have way more interest in people wanting to buy the whole company. So we exited at that time. And then in 2020, we sold it to Dean Foods, the largest publicly traded dairy company, and they went bankrupt. They filed bankruptcy in November of 2019. The pandemic hit, and in early 2020, I found myself going, geez, maybe I should buy the company back. My wife and I had been running it. And at the same time, the pandemic's happening. You're like, are we even going to be alive? Am I crazy? What am I doing here? Uh, but we did, and we bought the company back. And so that was an amazing journey, path for us. But then we saw coming out of that tremendous growth, kind of the right place, the right time, vitamin C, antioxidants, immune health. People really leaned into that coming out of COVID, and orange juice was one of those things that became popular again. We rode that wave. We added some other functional ingredients into the products, probiotics for health, turmeric for inflammation, zinc and D. We boosted the C. We did all kinds of different things, elderberry. And so our company really grew, but big hurdles, growth. We were co-packed at the time. We've been co-packed our entire life. So we would have all the ingredients. We would send it to a co-packer. They would bottle it, and then we would take it from there. COVID happened, and we went from one co-packer to three. One, because our growth, but two, because just everybody had supply chain issues. Everybody had labor issues. And we had rapid growth. So we finally got to the point where I said, okay, this is a little nutty. I'm sending stuff all around the country. Then we got to consolidate it all back. The cost of this is crazy. So we jumped into our own manufacturing facility. So a year ago, November 2023, we opened our own facility. And we're bottling ourselves. We located it not in Florida, where we're at, but in Texas. We are just west of Dallas. It splits the country in half for us. We're a nationwide brand. So Our freight is much easier. The devastating citrus greening disease that has ravaged Florida. It's a bacterial disease that affects the tree. It doesn't affect human health. It has taken our industry and brought it to almost extinction. I hate to say that, but at our peak, we did 250 million boxes. This year, we were looking to do 20 million boxes. So really cut the industry in half. So our demand, our supply has changed. We're now southern Texas, east coast of Mexico. So when you ask about challenges, organic supply has always been the same challenge from day one. When I looked in the at Horizon and Pavage and said, how would I compete? We did it ourselves. We grew it ourselves. We converted acreage. The little bug shows up. Citrus greening takes our 1,500 acres now to less than 75 acres in Florida. And it's just for research that we do to try and find a cure for greening with my dad and brother as the agronomist. And then from there, okay, so now we need to move to our own co-packing. We need to be our own manufacturing facility. And that's a different skill set, right? So now we have other supply growers and people that we work with in Mexico and Texas, California, and other parts around the globe. So our agronomy team now does more consulting in those areas to try and show them, hey, this is what we do to combat greening so you don't get the same disease and have problems. And now we're in manufacturing, completely different game and skill set, but we hired great people. We've learned a lot in a year. It's a lot of fun. We're that much closer to our quality control. I mean, we are now every day in charge of being consistently great. And that's been my mantra throughout my 25-year career, that every position, everybody is very important, no matter what you're doing for Uncle Matt's, to be consistently great at what you're doing. And so when you open that bottle of Uncle Matt's, it truly is love at first sip. And what gets you to buy it again. And that's what gets you to tell a friend, is by us being consistently great. So super excited at this stage. 24 years in, we started our own manufacturing piece. I looked at it for, a decade of trying to vertically integrate and never got to the point where we are now. And I couldn't be happier. Innovation's quicker. Quality is even better. But all more challenges. 52 new employees that are on the payroll. So.
Wow. You kept mentioning things that you'd have to do differently or to learn. You mentioned like hiring people to do the work, the experts to do the work. What is your superpower today?
I think being strategic and really staying ahead and being proactive, right? So leading our team, being the one that kind of sets the vision for the company, has the KPIs for everybody of, here are our real goals. Here are our metrics for how we define success. I really love innovation. I kind of lead our innovation team along with my wife to come up with things that are, cutting edge health and wellness that's in a beverage format. It's kind of a passion of mine. My goal is to live to be 100. I'm a little more than halfway there, and you are what you eat. So I have a great opportunity with beverages to put healthy, functional beverages in the hands of people to help them live a healthier, longer life, and also impact the environment at the same time, because all we do is organic, and organic is less stress on the environment, less stress on your body from pesticide residues, things like that.
So I hear the passion. It sounds like there's purpose as well. So meaning, fulfillment, energy, etc. But how do you keep those employees engaged and feeling the same way?
Yeah, I mean, culture, like for anybody, any company, culture is king, right? And it's key. So to have people have that buy-in with you, to feel the same passion about what you're trying to accomplish. People know our mission here. They know clearly what we're trying to get accomplished. We have a Monday morning call that has, a large percentage of our company on it. And we talk about, how we're doing. We have real talk, top line, bottom line, to budget, our KPIs. How are we serving the customer? Right, customer's number one. Are we serving the customer better or worse? And so we share our wins, and we also have straight talk if we're losing, and what do we need to do to course correct. So I think that keeps everybody engaged. We also we're a B Corp, and we have which is we're a community purpose, also employee purpose, and around the environment. And we have the environmental piece with organic, the employee piece. We keep all of our employees engaged. We also have a large portion are they have stock options. So that's a good thing. They act like owners, and they have the capabilities, to feel vested with Uncle Matt's. And I think that's a real key. And then we also let them vote on our charities that we support locally in our community. And then every quarter we'll put a charity on our label that we're supporting, and a portion of our proceeds go to that charity. And at the end of the quarter, we present them with a big check, and we do a nice little luncheon with all the employees here in Claremont with that charity. So, they see the impact they get to have through working hard at Uncle Matt's and also in the local community. So we give to, the homeless, we give to people that are helping those that have Down syndrome or autism to be included in sports and events. We help adoption and foster care, those kind of things, and not national charities, but local. So a check that we give them for $10,000 is a whole lot of impact for some of those small charities. So that's how we create culture. That's how we create employees that, when they come here, we hope they don't feel like it's just a job, a job. Instead, they're coming here to make a difference, and they're part of something that can make a lasting generational difference in health and wellness for humans and for the environment.
Yeah. And what a benefit when it comes to certain types of positions, especially I worked in manufacturing for a bit, and morale and engagement and labeling a job not as a job is key to having people even just show up to work. Sometimes it sounds like you have a culture, founded by values, and you are doing things that highlight them as well.
We don't get it all right. We've learned a lot over the years, but those are some of the key things that I think really help propel us and keep employees focused and engaged and really, doing their best for the customer.
Well, now you say that you learned some things, and I'm like, well, what are you to learn?
Right. Right. Well, if you don't have people that have the right buy-in and the right passion, and they are just showing up because it's a job, it typically doesn't last long, right? It's not. They're just not productive enough. You can tell they'll infect other employees, and morale will be down. They will do more. They will create more chaos than good, unfortunately. And sometimes you pick up on it pretty quick. Like, hey, this is not going to be the right fit. And other times it takes longer, and you may unfortunately have another employee that gets to the point where they're burnt out as well, and you were blinded and didn't see it. And so you may lose 2 employees instead of 1.
How do you keep your ear to the ground when it comes to the team?
Our Monday call is good. I love to walk the halls and just ask how you doing. I invest more personally with them. Don't tell me just how your job's doing. How are you doing? Right? How's your family doing? I make sure I encourage people and make sure that they take their PTO. Right? Take paid time off. Go spend time with family, with friends. Mental health, physical health, those things keep you alive and thriving. And when you come back to work, that's what we want. We want you here and able to really thrive and make a difference. So, just being a good person that cares can go a long way.
Yeah, that personal connection. I worked in healthcare, worked in manufacturing, and just there was an opportunity for the senior leaders and any employee to walk the halls, say hi, be
Hmm.
seen, be visible. It's something that, a little bit of a challenge in the remote world. It's possible.
Yep.
It
Hmm.
it's just it takes a little bit more intention,
Well,
but
our
it's
Monday
crucial.
morning call is a Zoom call, and we have a lot of people that work remote, and so it's a Monday morning Zoom call. It's like sitting around the water cooler,
Mhm.
where we're going from department to department, just giving your updates, and that helps. That helps people connect. That helps have, even though they're working remotely across the country, to at least be heard and seen, and hey, I'm part of this group.
Okay, I'm not sure if you know a little bit about our brand, but I'm the author of the book Becoming Fearless, and so love talking about fear and fearlessness. So just before we close out today, I'd love to hear what is one thing that you've done recently to be fearless.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, from a manufacturing standpoint, taking over the plant is one, and we talked about that.
Hmm.
I think any kind of new product innovation, you got to be a little bit of fearless. In this uh, time, we stepped out of our comfort zone of just being a juice brand. We went over into tea, so refrigerated organic tea. Nobody had really gone into that arena, so a little fearless. It's you have to brew tea. It's not some tea extract, not something cheap. If we're going to do it right, Uncle Matt's, we're going to make it a premium product. And so we had to then take our plant and modify it so it could brew tea and filter out tea leaves. But I
Wow.
love it. And so that was a fearless step for us. And we just launched it over the summer nationwide in Sprouts and Whole Foods. And the customer will tell us ultimately if we win or not. But we invested some money to be able to lean into that space, and I think it's got some legs and potential. But I also have a boneyard behind me of products where I was fearless and I was wrong. But I'm okay with that.
What did you learn in all those previous product launches that led you to this one? Because you mentioned a little bit before too that okay, being intentional, watching out for the sparkly object syndrome is important. This one seems like okay, I've probably learned a few things now over the years.
Yeah, make sure you have more customer buy-in, right? So, hey, we're thinking about this product, and let, in our case, some key retailers, let them give you their feedback and advice. And they'll also, because they know their customer better than you, and so it's a nice partnership. So if you have that relationship, reach out to key partners within your sales channel and
Hmm.
see what they think, and they can help steer you so it's not a huge risk, and it's more of a lower risk item for you. So I think that's what the T is for us. That's one thing I learned, is that the boneyard I have in the back was more my good ideas that I thought were great. And when I got out to the retail world, it wasn't that. It was too small of a niche, or I was too far ahead of my time. Just you overthought some innovation. So
Great bit of advice. Uh, I have so many good ideas in my head.
right,
When I go see if other people want those ideas, uh,
yeah.
it's not always that there aren't people that want it, but it's access, it's marketing, it's awareness, it's the variety of things. But what do your current customers want? Because they're the easiest people to sell to.
Correct. And so I say it quite regularly in our company. We can have too many good ideas, right?
Hmm.
Too many good ideas. You can lose focus on what really are your strengths and what do you do well, and make sure you are doing that really, really well before you have too many other good ideas, because you can get spread way too thin. You can get into too many categories. You can get into too much, just dilution. And it's,
Yeah.
now I have my own facility, my own bottling facility, which in the past you'd always say, oh, if I just had my own place, I could, man, if I would launch this product and that product, nothing would hold me back. And now you go, okay, let's be disciplined about this, because I can throw all kinds of crazy stuff into our manufacturing facility and bog its efficiencies way down. Right. And then everything costs more. We're not getting any kind of competitive advantage out of it. So you have to be very disciplined and careful on too many good ideas.
That is a good mic drop to transition from. I'm just thinking like, man, if I had a bottling plant, I would do all these things. I could rent out space and time and bottle other products. Yeah, I can see how it just opens the floodgates of opportunity, but it's like, no, that's when you have to be disciplined.
Yeah, really do.
Okay, if our listeners want to try your products out, you mentioned Whole Food Sprouts. Where else can they go?
Yeah, the easiest is just go to our website, unclemats.com. You will click on a store locator there, type in your zip code, and it will bring up literally any product that we sell in a store near you. And if for some reason you can't find us in a store near you, you can always buy us online. We will be happy to ship you direct. I will warn you, it's more expensive because it's perishable product that's heavy that we have to send to you in 1 or 2 days. So we encourage you to go to your local zip code, put in the zip code, go to your local store and find us there. It would be great. And follow us on any of our social media channels. We're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. You can sign up for our e-newsletter. We give lots of coupons and great recipes in there. So yeah, Matt@unclemats.com. You can reach out direct to me if you want to learn more or know more, or just go to unclemats.com.
Oh, awesome. You're super close to me. I'm literally 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 places within less than 2 miles. So
Awesome.
I'll be getting some Uncle Matt's in my fridge soon. So I appreciate your time, Matt. And again, yeah, thank you.
Appreciate the time as well. Encourage your listeners to go live fearless.
You've been part of the Live For Yourself revolution. If you've enjoyed today's episode, make sure to share with a friend and spread the good word. Until next time, keep on living for yourself.